Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Hey Thrive Loud listeners, this is Stephanie, one of the interns here at Thrive Loud. In today's minisode, we take a look back at phenomenal photographer and businesswoman Sue Bryce. Sue had an amazing, inspiring story about growing her photography career from her own garage, dealing with money guilt, and learning how to be a successful creative entrepreneur today. Enjoy!
My skill was there. My skill set was outstanding. I had no sales value. I wasn't actually selling my work. When I worked for someone else, somebody else was selling my work. And I didn't even know that I couldn't sell my own work. I didn't know that I had blocks around money and receiving money. And I had guilt. I had this massive guilt that I would charge $2,000 for something. Now, when somebody else was taking the money, it was not a problem. But when I had to take it for myself, I almost couldn't do it. I couldn't speak my pricing out loud. I didn't value the product I was making. And it was incredible and it was advanced and it was masterful, but I just could not step into that value of putting myself out there. And then I was shy, introverted. I had all these things stacked up against me. Social anxiety, fear of pitching myself, putting my face on my own brand. I was like the most reluctant brand. And I was hiding from it. And I realized that I had to step into it in order to be more successful.
So in doing that, and by the way, one of the things that I work with people all the time with is moving through fear into courage. Yes. What was some of the triggers, or what did you do personally to recognize that this was something I needed to overcome? And what steps did you take to move through that hurdle for you?
Everything that we do in our early stage is about getting validation. We put ourselves out there online. We hear the feedback. We hear the trolls. We hear the criticism. We hear the positive feedback. We feel the love. The more feedback we get, the more we walk into it thinking that we're seeing that mirror of ourselves constantly. Am I good enough? Of course, you're not going to be good enough. There's always someone better than you. There's always somebody competing with you. There's always somebody out there creating the same product as you, better, stronger, faster than you. So you compare yourself constantly. You compare yourself online. You compare your folio. You compare, but you've forgotten to do the one thing that's going to get you paid, and that's give service, give product, connect to that client, ask them what they want. So I actually stopped making it about me. I realized I was the one getting in the way of getting paid. I was the one stopping people from paying me. All I had to do was look for the opportunities, find those opportunities, walk into them with the great service. So an energy of giving instead of receiving, and stop sort of expecting that other people are going to make you famous, or other people are going to make you rich, or other people are going to make you successful. We so often sit back and say, I'm so talented, somebody should discover me. And you're saying somebody should do this work for me. And you really have to go through the core work, like what I give is valuable, how I serve is valuable, how I connect is valuable. When I take myself out of the equation, it was only what can I do for you because you're the one paying. But when we start, we're like, please pay me. Please give me money. Please tell me I'm good enough. Please tell me I can make it. Please tell me I'm good enough to do this. And it's so about us.
So by the way, beautiful. And then the fact that you're directing that onto making the focus about the client, it certainly, by the way, we don't even realize it. It alleviates that stress that holds you back, right? Because
it takes it away.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're asking them what they want and they tell you what they need. And then you match up to that service.
You educate them. Yeah. You educate them to your product, your service, your price list, and then you deliver on what you promised. And, you know, I always say it comes down to three things at this point. It comes down to the connection that you have with this person, getting them on the phone, not doing business over email or text or private message on Facebook. Get them on the phone, build a relationship with them, do a consultation with them in person. Relationship building is paramount. And then asking them, what do you want? How can I best serve you? What are your needs? And then delivering on every single one of them, but just really making it client focused, product focused. That takes the fear away from who you are, what you think you deserve, what you think about yourself, looking for validation, and simply giving and serving at full power. And it's very, very strong.
It
takes that
great.
fear back.
And now I'm going to, because thank you for rewinding and sharing where that came from. And now as you've moved forward and you said the direction you wanted to go into to help expand the business was to help educate others, I'm imagining this is a little bit inside of you to try to give back to those in the photography community that might have been going through some of the same challenges as you did?
Okay, I'm going to say something that might be not controversial, but it'll get a chuckle, I'm sure. Yes, giving back is a huge part of living, right? Giving back to your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people around you, your clients, the community. But I wanted to create a bigger business model from the business model that I had. That's why I chose education. I looked at it like this. I couldn't scale my model because I was the main technician.
Right.
So I had to train 3 photographers to shoot like me. But they're never going to shoot like me because it's a creative process and it's very different. I can teach them to shoot similar, or I can teach them my style, but ultimately their stamp is their creative process. So I didn't think I could replicate multiple photographers. Could I franchise? No, that put me in the same boat. Around 2005, I started to see that online education was getting huge. And I was like, I'll take my business model to an online platform. And then I built an online platform with a subscription model with a closed circuit broadcast weekly to those people. And I could grow my platform to 10,000 subscribers in the first 2 years, which I did.
That's amazing and awesome. And
yeah.
So, and there was nothing funny about that. That was very clear and very straight to the point. You figured out, I got to grow the business and this is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So here's the question that I've always found, because it is interesting. There is a difference between doing the craft that you do, which is very, like you said, you're the technician that delivers it. And then there's communicating the message that you deliver and helping to educate others. How has that transition been personally for you in moving from capturing the image and kind of almost taking the picture to helping others, for more lack of a better analogy here, help direct and create the scenery that they need to?
So here's something quite amazing. The photographers in my network don't really want to learn about photography. They're already finding their own voice in the world of photography and their creative sort of journey. Really, they're interested in how to make money and be sustainable in business, because as creatives, they spend 95% of their time developing a folio and not learning how to sell it. And then they have to start going through the personal value journey, and a lot of them really struggle with it. A lot of creatives struggle with pricing and selling. Yeah, full stop.
Yeah. The interesting thing, it's very funny. I just did this, and this is not just limited to those in photography. I will let you know that just about anybody where they are a sole proprietor or they are the main component of the business, when they have to put that price on themselves, it is very difficult.
Yeah, so solopreneurs especially should read the E-Myth, I believe, the revisited E-Myth, because, he talks a lot about being a technician and then being an entrepreneur and then being a solopreneur, just being a solo technician, where you are the technician that's creating the product and the service, but you're also the one receiving the money. So you're half entrepreneur, you're half a technician, and the technician is no entrepreneur and the entrepreneur is no technician. And somehow you're trying to, ride 2 horses with one butt, and it's really difficult. And I feel like ultimately guilt and shame are the 2 biggest energies that block money, and technicians don't value their own craft when it's theirs. You'll see a technician that's been in a sales job selling $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 products, and then they go to sell their own work and they can't. And that's how I felt. I just felt like I wasn't worth the price that I was telling people I was. I just felt bad about it. I felt guilty. I didn't speak confidently about money. I had money shame. I wasn't managing my money. I was in debt. I wasn't looking at, I had to learn how to put the money back into my business. I had to learn how to save my tax. I had to learn how to price myself at 10 to 15% profit margin so I could actually make a profit. And then I had to learn how to manage that in the 3 ways that it has to go: back to the business, to the tax man, pay myself a wage. And then I got a very strong idea that I just was not going to be sustainable. So I had to keep putting my prices up, my service up, my product up, keep feeling good about it, keep reconnecting with service. And inevitably, I got up to a $3,500 average quite quickly. And then I was like, that was me. I was doing that the whole time. I was the one getting in the way of getting people paid. I would talk too much in the sales room, and just cut the sale right back and then practically give it away at the end. I had to learn how to shut up, and the next person who speaks is buying it. And that changed my world.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. And follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Thrive Loud. Or find us on the web at thriveloud.com.